Hello all, this is Halloween, and if you love cemeteries and haunted places as much as I do, you may want to subscribe because I'm going to be taking you somewhere new every week. In today's episode, we are headed to Atlanta, Georgia to visit the beautiful and historic Oakland Cemetery, established in 1850. Enjoy! We're here at Chef Wang's, right across from the Oakland Cemetery. Gonna go in and get a bite to eat. We're here at Oakland Cemetery in Atlanta, established in 1850. Let's go in and see what we can see. Here we are, the Oakland Cemetery. Beautiful cemetery in Atlanta. You could just see how gorgeous it is. It's huge. It's 48 acres of land. And I even saw on a website that said it was 88 acres of land, but more websites said that it was 48. So I'm really unsure on that, but it is huge. This cemetery was established in 1850 and added to the National Historic Registry for Historic Places in 1975. I think it was 75 or 76 actually. But very beautiful. And as we were walking, because we got dropped off by our Lyft driver just down the street here, and as we were walking, I noticed that Kenny Rogers is buried here. You can see his memorial from the street. So that's pretty awesome. That was a pretty cool thing that I wasn't expecting. Look how pretty this is, and the walkways, the brick pathways, and the way that the plots are built up, and it's very hilly. It's just beautiful. This is reminding me a lot of the Oak Grove Cemetery in Fall River, Massachusetts. I get the feeling that there is no way on earth that I'm going to be able to cover this entire cemetery. It is so big, but it's amazing. Look at all the trees and the way they have it landscaped and flowers. It's just really nice. I wish we had something like this in Florida. I haven't found anything quite like this in Florida. A big, beautiful cemetery. The closest we have in Florida would be any of the Dignity cemeteries. They're really beautiful, but they're more modern. This is a historic cemetery. So it's just, there's nothing like it. When you get to these historic cemeteries, they're just so different. Look at those. I think those might be peonies. Lucille Ball's favorite flower. Yeah. And those are real flowers. Look at all of them. That's unreal. So pretty. We're going to visit Lucille Ball's grave later this year. I'm going to bring her some peonies if I can find some. But she would love that. Look at this husband and wife here with the raised script on the memorials, on the ledgers. And then up top, it's like a pillow up top with tassels on it. Really cool. something I've never seen before, I don't think. We're high up on a hill here. Outside of the traffic and it being a little noisy, you can hear the birds chirping and just really kind of peaceful. I just wish they didn't have so much traffic around here. See, people think that you have to go abroad to see a cemetery like this, and that is absolutely not true. Like, we may not have this kind of historic cemetery in Tampa. We have historic cemeteries, but they're not like this. But you just have to scratch the surface, you know, go to another state that does have one. We have plenty of beautiful cemeteries here in the United States. And a lot of those cemeteries abroad are unfortunately in a state of disrepair. I watched videos of some people that live abroad that do the same thing I'm doing and going to cemeteries and stuff, and they're not all that. They're not this, you know. The landscaping and the lush grass, and obviously very well maintained, beautiful flowers everywhere, very lush and green and kept. You walk through this cemetery though and you can smell flowers, which is a really beautiful thing. Jasmines are in bloom this season, so I smell jasmine as I'm walking through here. And there's where we ate, Chef Wang's. If you wanted to try the food there. It's a beautiful view of the cemetery from where you're sitting. Now, another person entered here who is famous is Margaret Mitchell, the author of Gone with the Wind, which I thought was really cool. I'm probably not going to find her unless she has a really big memorial or something. Look. This is Sawtell. And there's a little bit of an opening where you can kind of see in. Pretty standard mausoleum here with full body interments. Kind of just trying to walk through here and film so you can see most of this. A lot of my still shots are going to be of a whole area that I just think is beautiful because there's just so much to see here. The statues are just beautiful. Look over here to the left, how all the monuments are clustered like that. I think that looks so freaking cool when it's like that. I don't see anybody really in this cemetery today, which is, it is Friday, so I guess a lot of people are at work, but man, this is one of those cemeteries. I would be here every day if I lived next to it. Just to even walk around and get some exercise, you have so much to see, and it's just, it's shaded, you know, there's a lot of trees, so it's a really nice walk, and it's uphill and downhill. You could get some great exercise living here. They're doing some work here in the cemetery, so there's these barricades up and stuff, so that's kind of an eyesore in such a gorgeous place, but you gotta do what you gotta do to maintain this thing. I mean, it is a lot of cemetery. This is gorgeous. This is one of my favorite things on a headstone, is that sort of 3D effect with the flowers on the headstone. It's just beautiful. And this one here has a bed of irises. It's so pretty. They obviously, their season has come and gone, because they're starting to now go away until their next bloom. But I feel like that's significant when a flower has its seasons, just like us in life. We have our season, and then we pass on, and then we bloom again in heaven. These are just so pretty. More irises here. There's a gorgeous Jacob's mausoleum. Really pretty. And this cluster of memorials here is just so cool. It's so neat to look at when it's like that. It's so condensed. It's just really cool. This could be the Jewish section of the cemetery. I do see a lot of Stars of David, so, but I'm not quite sure. Could be. There's some Freemasons buried here. Over in this area are where all of the veterans are buried. There's a big veteran area. If you recall, when we went to the Spring Grove Cemetery in Cincinnati, and even also the Magnolia Cemetery in Mobile, Alabama, they have their own sections as well with war veterans and military. So it's very cool. There's a lot of them too. This whole side and all of these over here. Don't know if you can see the magnolias on this tree. They're huge and in bloom right now. If you are going to come to Atlanta, Georgia to visit the Oakland Cemetery around this time of year, it is going into May. A lot of flowers and different plants are in bloom, so I would recommend getting some Claritin or something like that for your trip. That way you're not, you know, riddled with allergies when you get here, because I have had quite a bit of allergies since I arrived here, and I didn't bring my Claritin, so I'm gonna have to probably stop at a Walgreens or something, but I do recommend that. Also wearing comfy shoes for this cemetery. It is very large and there's a lot of hills and steps and things like that, so you're gonna want to wear like comfortable shoes for this one. This is the final resting place of the late great Kenny Rogers, and total surprise to me that he was buried here. Like I said, we were just walking down the street trying to figure out where to get into the cemetery, and we saw this and I was like, oh my gosh, Kenny Rogers is buried here. I mean, it's just so awesome. I love Kenny Rogers. He had some really great tunes. My favorite one was 20 Years Ago. Now 20 years ago wasn't so great, you know, but back then, you know, it came out like in the 80s, and 20 years ago, you're talking about, you know, the 60s, and things were really great. And it's sad that things have changed so much, but that song is really indicative of a period of time that was a really beautiful time in American history, and he really, no one sang it like him. So. All right. He's right next to the street too, so there's a, let's see what this is, so you'll know where to find him if you come. Not that you're not going to. There's also a sign literally pointing down the road that he's in saying Kenny Rogers is here. So there's a Loom Hotel right across the street, or apartment complexes, and that's his resting place. Really beautiful marble with the cross embossed on the top, or I guess it's not embossed, it's like built onto the top of it. All marble, of course. Would you expect anything less? And it says on both sides, will the circle be unbroken? So he must have been a man of God. And that's just a really neat memorial. So glad I got to see it. So glad I got to share it with you. I love that this cemetery actually has markers, and I think the Spring Grove did too, if I'm not mistaken. But it'll tell you all the famous people that are laid to rest here. Golf great Bobby Jones is just down this way. So that way you don't have, it's not like, you know, a needle in a haystack. You at least have these markers pointing you in the right direction. So that's pretty awesome. The Legend of Bobby Jones. You can read about him right here. On November 17th, 1930, Bobby Jones stunned the world when he announced his retirement. He had joined his father's law firm, now Alston and Bird LLP, 2 years earlier. Specializing in corporate law, he also held interest in several Coca-Cola bottling companies and became close friends with the company's president, Robert W. Woodruff. Jones made his mark as an active Atlanta citizen, sitting on corporate boards and participating in charity golf tournaments. Maintaining his interest in golf, Bobby Jones helped design the first matched set of steel shaft golf clubs for the A.G. Spalding Sports Goods Company. Starred in 18 Warner Brothers instructional films, published 5 golf books, and wrote numerous newspaper and magazine articles. Jones also helped bring 3 major golf tournaments to his hometown: the 1950 U.S. Women's Amateur and the 1963 Ryder Cup to East Lake Country Club, which was part of the Atlanta Athletic Club. and the 1976 U.S. Open to the Atlanta Athletic Club's new course north of the city. So there he is. I'm not sure which one he is, but I'm going to take a gander that he's the one on the left. He looks more athletic. I don't know how athletic you need to be to play golf, but I mean, they all kind of look athletic, right? You're probably going to want something to drink as you walk through the cemetery, because the cemetery is so big. You're probably going to get thirsty, so I grabbed my drink from the place where we ate. Oh. This is someone named Trotty. We're in a bit of a mausoleum area where there's a bunch of them, so let's go take a look inside some of these if we can. This one here looks like a little church. It's got little stained glass windows going all the way around it. This is the Singer plot. I wonder if it's the same singer from the Sewing Machines. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? And you can go right up and look in. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Even has a really nice checkered floor. This is Dodd. This name is Dodd on this mausoleum. Really pretty stained glass. Going into the Reagan Mausoleum. Not in, but as much in as we can be. Watch your step coming up here. Stairs are kind of wonky. Oh wow. Has that peach marble. That's really pretty. This needs to be swept a little bit on the floor. You can see I'm on a tall hill here. Saw a really pretty area with a lot of flowers over here somewhere. Probably gonna check out. This is the Calhouns. Very steep steps. And you're on a hill, and I have a little bit of vertigo when I get on high places, but look at that. Isn't that pretty? I love it. Very nice. Look at this. Can you even imagine the money it costs to build something like this for your post-mortem body to go into? Like, that's a lot of money. I mean, some people don't spend this much when they're alive on a house to live in. You gotta have the money for this kind of thing here. Look at this. Look. That is cool. Isn't that pretty? Wow. Gorgeous. Alfred Austell, born 1814, January 7th, 1814 to December 7th, 1881. You know he was rolling in the Benjis when he was alive. Probably a very important person here in Atlanta. There are a lot of state representatives buried here. So, pioneers, state representatives, you know, people that were very important to the development of the city of Atlanta. I walked around the front of this, and I guess they just don't want us getting in. Ellis Venable Mason. It's a serious marble door there. Or concrete. You cannot see in that one. Look how cool. This dude's just sitting up there guarding his mausoleum. It's a concrete replica of the departed there, I guess, with a top hat and the whole nine. Really cool. And I can't even peek in. Man, he's got this thing guarded. Jasper M. Smith. Beautiful. I just think that's really cool. I love when I see that. I bet it's pretty accurate too. That is some artwork right there. Here we have an above ground plot in brick. Mary Helena Lyons. Wife of E.F. Donahue, born June 30th, 1861, died December 18th, or looks like December 8th, 1892. Here's one of those really tall, thin ones like we've seen in Charleston, even Salem. Very old. As with most cemeteries, and I always say this in my videos, even though it was established in 1850, some of these interments can date back even before that. It's all depending on when the cemetery space was dedicated and the land was officially deemed a cemetery. So it could be even older than that, as far as the burials go anyway. This gentleman here was super important to Atlanta, it seems. Maynard Holbrook Jackson Jr. Hi.
Good evening, young lady.
How are you doing?
Excellent. What are you doing right here? I look like you're doing something in connection with Maynard's.
Yes. Yeah.
Monument.
Can you tell me about him?
Oh man, he was an awesome man.
Oh really?
Yeah, this guy, he had courage. You know, I didn't see that courage.
Yeah.
But he had courage, and he had vision, and he understood the importance of economic empowerment of the entire community.
Oh.
And he had the courage to insist that it happen.
Well, that's
He's
awesome.
the first African American mayor of the city of Atlanta.
Oh wow.
And there was an issue going on with they were getting ready to renovate and remodel and expand the airport. And that was a lot, billions of dollars.
Oh yeah.
Spent, okay?
That airport is something
he
else.
insisted that not just the regular good old boys that had been going to the table for years and years and enriching themselves were going to benefit from it. He wanted complete inclusion.
Okay.
So he set some policies and some procedures in place that are still standing today in terms of diversity and participation. And
Wow.
I'm from Alabama. I'm from Birmingham.
Oh, I was born in Mobile.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Congratulations. Good to see you, homegirl.
All right.
Yeah. So, but anyway, I come over here because we were having. They had nothing like this established in Birmingham, and you know they got some plans, but they're very weak. They don't have any teeth in them. So when I come over here in Atlanta, we were able to be recipients of some of the work and the efforts that he had put in place.
Oh, well, that's
and
great.
that's why we actually are paving this whole cemetery right now. That's what we're doing.
Oh wow, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
You're doing a great job.
It's awesome.
It's a gorgeous cemetery.
Yeah, it's going to be amazing when we finish it. You know, we've done a lot of renovation infrastructure, and we're still working on it. But that's what the finished product is going to look like up there on the other side of those roads.
Okay.
And I just I didn't want you to, go up there and get tar all over your feet and everything. But I was curious knowing what you were doing.
Oh yeah, I have a YouTube channel.
Oh, okay.
And I talk about the history of cemeteries and stuff like that on the channel.
Okay.
So you'll be on one of my videos.
Oh man, come on now. Well,
what's your name, sir?
I don't mind. My name's Roy Smith. I'm the owner of R.A. Smith Asphalt. What's your name, young lady?
I'm Callie.
Callie?
Yes.
Pleasure to meet you.
It's nice to meet you.
Indeed, pleasure of mine. We'll see you, Callie. Hey, we're going to be bringing a truck right through here in a minute. So.
Okay, no problem. I'll be out of your way.
Oh, you good.
All right.
I want you to keep an eye.
Thank you.
All
right. Well, there you have it. Mr. Maynard Holbrook Jackson, a great guy. So he's, as you heard the gentleman, he had a hand in it, this beautiful Atlanta airport. If you've not been to the Atlanta airport, it's gorgeous. He even has airplanes at the top of his memorial here. So his determination opened the doors of equal opportunity to everyone, basically what the man was just saying. There is no chance, no destiny, no fate can circumvent or hinder or control the firm resolve of a determined soul. And that's a quote from Ella W. Wilcox. So very cool. He just recently passed here in June of 2020, or June of 2003. So that's really great. His honor, courage, and vision created a new Atlanta. First African American mayor. That's a very important memorial right there. And thank you, sir. You did a great job. Well, it's been fun. It was a very big cemetery. I met some really nice people here, and we just had a lovely walk through the Oakland Cemetery in Atlanta. I highly recommend you visit this one if you're in the Atlanta area. If you live here, I'm so jealous. And that does it for this one. I'll see you at the next one. Thank you so much for joining me again today. I hope you loved today's episode. I'm always amazed by how different each cemetery can be, and this cemetery, Oakland Cemetery, was no different. It was just stunning in its own way. Different than any of the others I've ever seen, but similar in some ways. So it's always nice to get out and travel and see these other cemeteries that I haven't seen. And if you are in the Atlanta area and you live there, you need to go see this cemetery. I met so many people in Atlanta that has never visited the cemetery. And I'm like, come on, you guys. Like, what are you doing? So it was really great. I was so happy to be there. And the Kenny Rogers thing, I was just like, wow, I wasn't expecting this. It was one of the ones that I didn't really look into a whole lot. When I did, whatever website I was on did not mention that about Kenny Rogers being there. So that was a really nice surprise. A lot of the food in Atlanta was like fast service food, you know, so you go up to a counter, you order your food, you sit down and eat it, or you take it to go. There was a lot of that going on, but I didn't see a lot of actual restaurants where you sit down and enjoy a meal with a server. So I don't know, maybe I was just in the wrong areas of town, but there just really wasn't a lot of that. But the food we had at Chef Wang's was really good. If you like that bibimbap or whatever it's called, bibimbap. It's basically Korean bulgogi beef in a bowl with white rice, and it's a little spicy. It has some kimchi in there, and it's topped with an egg. But it was really good. We enjoyed it. I'd go there again. It's just I prefer a place that you sit down and you have a server, and like I said, it was hard. You're hard pressed to find one in Atlanta. Anyway, that does it for today's episode. If you haven't already, please remember to like, subscribe, and share this video. And I'll see you next time.